One of the effective things that I've learned over the last 5 years of my programming experience or programming career is to use my mouse lesser and lesser. So I've always used my keyboard using the terminal or the command prompt to run any of my commands, and it has come to a point where I don't even need my mouse for everyday work. So basically in this video I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 tricks, tips and tools that I use on an everyday basis to improve my productivity when I'm actually coding or going with a programming project. So that's what you're going to be finding out in this video. Let's get this video started straight away. Alright, so here's my terminal and I have it started up right from scratch. So one of the important things that I do when I'm actually writing my code is to always run a few things. Basically, let's say you're running your Django server, you're running your Flutter application, and one of the important things that always comes up is to run something with a sudo command. Now I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know what sudo does. It says that super user do. So it is always going to ask you for some commands. Let's say that I want to install something, but I don't have or I haven't given my super user I haven't given the sudo command. So what major mistake that people do, let's say that I want to do a brew install, right? I just want to do brew install and it's running because it doesn't require a sudo here. But let's say that you are somebody who's going to run something again the same command with a sudo before it. All you need to do is just sudo and use double bangs here, and it automatically run the previous command with a sudo already added. So you can see that in the right bottom corner it is actually doing a sudo brew install. So it's a very simple trick that I use on almost everyday basis because I keep forgetting that I need to fire a sudo. Since this is the Linux this is a Mac distribution, you don't use sudo very often, but in a Linux or Ubuntu distribution you always use sudo, and it's a very simple command that comes in handy, and we hope that you guys actually do that. Alright, so that one was very simple, and the second is also very simple in terms of how effectively you can use your history. You can see your history and use your commands from there. So I'm going to be showing you guys what I use in terms of my history here. Let me clear this up basically. Alright, so I'm going to be showing you guys how the history tool is a very effective tool. I again run a lot of commands on everyday basis, and if at the end of the day I forget what are the commands I have run over the last whole 24 hours, all I need to do is just hit up this history, and it's again an across Linux distribution command. So this is a basic Linux distribution commands, so it will work on your Mac, it will work on your Ubuntu, and there should be an equivalent command for Windows as well. So just do a history and you can see that there's a ton of command that comes up right fired up, and I cannot show most of these things because again these are commands that I run on everyday basis. So history command is very helpful. It shows you the last 24 hours of your commands that you've run, and pretty much you can see whatever commands you've run, and it's very simple. So just want to quickly shout out to a sponsor for us with this video, Unacademy along with CodeChef. One of the important things that a lot of you people have been asking me is that why should I actually even take the Unacademy subscription? Well, first of all, let me tell you that this subscription is not going to be just for the batches and the courses. There are going to be a lot of live classes that are going to happen on an everyday basis, and you have access to all of them. One more important thing is that this subscription is not just dedicated only for the CodeChef portion. It's going to be dedicated for the entire platform, the content on the platform, where you can take classes for whatever field you want to take. Second important thing is that these classes are going to be taken by top educators in their field, and have taken their classes myself, and I feel that I'm very confident in what they are teaching. So the important question that you also guys ask me is that what are the different ways that I can interact with these teachers? Basically, there are a few different ways. You can use your live classes, ask your doubts then and there, or you can even take part in the Discord server that they're going to set up and give it to you. Put your questions any time of the day, and you have your answers right then and there. So that's a couple of various ways that you can interact with your teachers. It's a very interesting and informative way for sure. Alright, next, moving on, the content is also there for not just your beginners but intermediate as well as advanced level people, and the batches are running almost on an every week basis. You have almost 60 hours of content getting added on an every week basis. Alright, if you're not going to be taking part in the Unacademy subscription, do not worry, because again there are a ton of free classes that are also available as part of the CodeChef and Unacademy. You can make use of that, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll be very happy to guide you in any of your doubts. Thanks again to our sponsor. Let's get this thing rolling scrolling because I have two more tricks to show you guys, right? So the fourth trick that I find or very very useful is again the find command itself. The find command is something you've used almost on an everyday basis. Again, let's say there's a very huge repository. There was this one repository that I had about 15,000 files, basically a very huge framework. I always had this problem of finding. I knew the name of the file, but I didn't know what folder it was in. So I always ended up finding this thing again and again. So one of the important tricks that you can do is just do a find. Actually, I'm in my home directory, so this is my home directory, and what I'm going to do is just do a find, and if you use dot, it's going to search the entire directory from your home to your end of the leaf. So basically starting from your home, search everywhere is the meaning of this find space dot, and you just say n is for the name of the file, or you can just do find hyphen name, and you can just say the name of the file, which is let's say I want to do star.wave, meaning that I want to search every wave file that is in my repository. I just do enter. As you can see, it's already found out that something in my iTunes folder, there's the output.wave file, and it's gonna do the search entirely. It's gonna do a recursive search. Every folder is being searched again and again and again, and find is a very 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 effective tool if you're pairing it with exactly your grep and things like that. You pipe it to a grep and it's going to be effective and pretty much is useful almost on an everyday basis. You hit your terminal to use your find to find the folder where the file is, then you do an ls and go into that folder, cd and go into the folder, and that's where the entire basics of Linux command comes into picture. Alright, so if you're somebody who's using your Git very often, Git is something, again, a repository or version control system. Git is the most important tool in any developer's bucket. I hope you guys know already all the Git commands that are out there, so I'm not going to be including the Git as a specific tool. Just as a note, I'm going to put it out there. But importantly, one more command that I use is the wget or the curl command to download things instead of just going to the browser, hitting the link up and things like that. So most of the times I already have the link of the URL they want to download things from. So what I would do is just use my wget or the curl command, hit up this command and get my questions or get my things downloaded onto my hard drive. So that's again a simple command to run. All you need to do is just go to your terminal again, and wget is not pre-installed in your Mac, so you need to use the curl command. Wget again is pre-installed in your Ubuntu distributions, so just use that in case you want it. So let's see that I've already taken up a URL that I'm going to be showing you guys. I already run this command previously as well. So let's say right over here. So this is the command I want to run. I want to show you guys this example on the screen, so that's why I ran it already. So I'm just going to say output.pdf. This is a simple PDF file that I'm trying to download. So I just do curl the URL -ho output.pdf, and voila, you just downloaded it in less than a couple of keystrokes without having to go to your Google Chrome, open it and download it. And it's very simple as well. It's very very effective. You use it almost every time, and if you are somebody who's using your curl along with your Git, it becomes extremely powerful because you can download your program, you can download your source files from your repository without having to navigate to it and just see what are the commands that are, what are the files that are out there. It's very very simple. Alright, so that's pretty much 4 commands done. Let's move to the 5th one. Again, this 5th one is basically a simple trick that I use. This is the actually search or auto-complete your previous command. So let's say that you've run a command over the last 1 hour and you want to quickly run that command again. This is basically very very useful when you're doing your SSH, when you're trying to run a simple command like a Django server up, or you want to run your npm server, npm start, things like that, right? You needn't always type it again and again. So what the simple command does is that you just use your command here. Command is basically in Mac, it's command. In your Windows or Ubuntu, it's control. So use your control and use your R. It automatically says is that it goes over reverse I search, meaning the last 1 hour you can search whatever command you ran, and all you need to do is just do, let's say I want to find out my command that I ran for my SSH. Basically I do SSH and it automatically goes to that folder. Or let's say that I want to find my sudo, and it just takes the first letter, so basically be very careful. Let's say I want to find the find command, so it just does some git checkout that I ran some long back. I don't even really know. So these are the basic things that you can do. It is easily and effectively useful when you're continuously working and you want to find out things like that, and you want to find out the things that you ran in the last 1 hour alone. and it's going to be very effective to find that command and rerun it just with a simple keystroke. So pretty much those are the 5 commands I wanted to share with you guys. A very simple developer bucket tool or tricks that I use on almost everyday basis. Few other things that I use is my git almost every day. I also use my lscd and things, basic commands like make dir, lscd, and those are also the things that I use on an everyday basis. ssh is also another very important thing that I did not include here because I don't ssh almost every day, but it's also again a very important tool that you can have in your bucket. So if you want, you can use that as well, include that as well. So pretty much that's what I wanted to share with you guys for this video. Hope this was informative. If you tell me what more commands that you use on an everyday basis or something that you find very effective, put that around in the comment section below so that people out there, like the community out there, can definitely make use of that, and I can also learn from that. So that's it for this video. Thanks again for sharing, and thanks again for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Let me meet you in the next video. Until then, Bharat, peace out. Have a super awesome day.